What's going on, gamers? My name is John with Gamester81.com, and in this episode I'm going to be reviewing StarFox 2. Now you're thinking to yourself, StarFox 2, I've never heard of that before, it never came out. Well, you'd be correct, it never came out. It's an unreleased game for the Super Nintendo. It's supposed to be released in 1995. Unfortunately, because of the Nintendo 64 and the timing with that, Nintendo decided to shelve the project even though it was complete in Japan, and they decided to release StarFox 64 for the N64. So StarFox 2 never saw the light of day. Fortunately, fans have translated the ROM, original ROM, from the Japanese version and ported it to a cart, which is I have in my hand. I got this copy from a friend of mine. His name is Quan Nguyen, and we bumped into each other at Vegas at the Classic Gaming Expo earlier this year. So I wanted to do a quick review over StarFox 2. Now, unfortunately, the game isn't 100% polished, although it is a complete game. If you're a big StarFox 2 fan, certainly check this out. You can find ROMs online, and it's definitely worth checking out if you're a big StarFox fan like I am. Without any further ado, let's take a closer look at StarFox 2. When the original StarFox came out back in 1993 for the Super Nintendo, I was blown away at the graphics and gameplay. It was the first game that had the Super FX chip, which not many people may realize, but the Super FX chip was actually designed by a company called Allgengamers, who helped actually co-develop the original StarFox for Nintendo. Unfortunately, gamers wouldn't see an official sequel for StarFox until 1997 for the Nintendo 64, which was, of course, StarFox 64. However, Allgengamers and Nintendo actually developed StarFox 2, which was slated for release in 1995. What made it even more bizarre, the fact that StarFox 2 never hit shelves, was the fact that in Japan, the game was 100% complete, minus a few small debugging tools that weren't yet removed. Unfortunately, during the time in 1995, Nintendo was heavily promoting their brand new platform to the market, which of course was their newest console, the Nintendo 64. So Nintendo last minute decided to not release StarFox 2, even though it was 100% complete in Japan, and decided to focus their efforts on the next sequel for StarFox to become eventually StarFox 64, which was released in 1997. Nevertheless, StarFox 2 does have a number of new features that would later be used for future StarFox titles, and its unique game in itself. Thanks to modern day ROMs and a fan translation, many gamers are able to experience StarFox 2 for the very first time. The first thing I noticed that was different between StarFox 2 and the original was the fact that you can now choose between 6 playable pilots, which is interesting. Each pilot has its own unique ability as far as what items they can hold and how many items they can hold. You can also choose a co-pilot. Notice Faye here, she's a poodle. She was not in the original StarFox game. I'm not quite sure what the co-pilot does, to be quite honest with you. I've beaten this game and my co-pilot didn't really help me at all throughout it. Another thing that's very unique about StarFox 2 is, unlike the original where it's very linear, you go from one level, one stage to the other, this, you are in the Lilat system still in the main menu, but you actually can fly and control where you bring you and your co-pilot. And the goal is to protect your Corneria home system bottom left corner. By doing so, you have to go to the missiles and the various ships that are attacking you. You can actually go to plants as well and take down various bases. Nintendo initially planned on the Super FX chip to be better on StarFox 2 than the original, although to be honest, I don't see a huge difference in graphics. If anything, I think the frame rate on the original StarFox is better than StarFox 2. That probably has a lot to do with the fact that this game was not 100% polished and finished and never came out. Nevertheless, the graphics are good on StarFox 2, and the gameplay is very similar, especially in space. You have your third-person and first-person perspectives of shooting, and you have various enemies from the Star Wolf clan who are after you. And the story really continues from the original one. You have Emperor Andros, and he's back, and he wants to destroy StarFox and his group of pilots. In addition to defending planet Corneria and the multiple attacks from the Star Wolf squadron, your ultimate goal is to destroy multiple bases throughout the game. And once all the bases are destroyed, you then move on to Emperor Andros' base and destroy him to defeat the game. It was at these base levels I actually really enjoyed the gameplay for StarFox 2. In addition to the plane you have here, you can press select and transform into a walker, which made it interesting. The walker is slower than the plane, but it's a lot more easy to navigate in tight situations and narrow situations as well. The shield monitor in the bottom right hand corner is different than the original shield monitor you had in the lower left corner for the original StarFox. You do of course have bombs you can just deploy, and just like you do at the original StarFox. I found these bases at the very end of these bases very easy. There were no enemies really to defeat, you just had to defeat the main central area, which actually ended up being a little bit too easy, I felt. Don't expect to put too much time into StarFox 2. It takes about 40 minutes to complete beginning to end, so it's not a very long game at all. They were planning on releasing a battle mode which would have been really cool. There are ROMs out there supposedly that have a battle mode in there that are incomplete. This is the most complete ROM of it. There's several different versions of it. You can also get it on a cart like I did, and which I think is probably preferable because you can actually play it on your original Super Nintendo and it's not necessarily emulated through computer. Whoever translated this game into English did a good job. They actually added some clever voiceover work as well.
StarFox. It was a team effort. What's a mission? Adios, Andor. Let's head back to the area.
Overall, Star Fox 2 is a decent game for the Super Nintendo. It's not as good as the original, in my personal opinion. I love the first Star Fox game. The game is too short, but it's really too bad that Nintendo decided to pull the plug so late in the development of Star Fox 2. I really think this game would have done fairly well for the Super Nintendo, and fans of Star Fox would have had to wait 2 more years extra until 1997 when that was finally released for the Nintendo 64. Apparently about 30% of what Nintendo put into Star Fox 2 actually applied to Star Fox 64, so it isn't necessarily all in vain, although it would be nice if Nintendo someday releases perhaps Star Fox 2 through their virtual console and call it the Lost Levels. Who knows if that will happen. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about Star Fox 2. We'll see you soon. Take care.